Heroes come in all shapes and sizes, so let's take a look at some particularly small ones, the Powerpuff Girls, for a Spec Evo Reimagining. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Speculative Wildlife Research Center. The Powerpuff Girls was a very popular animated show that, even in these nostalgia-rich times, has sadly never been brought back. But that doesn't mean we can't bring them in for a Spec Evo Reimagining. Huge thanks to Alec Foisey for sponsoring this episode. And please consider liking and subscribing to help our videos take flight. And now, without further ado, let's get started. One would imagine, in a world where colorful heroes zoom through the clear skies, humanity would soon develop a love for such imagery in all its forms. It's no surprise, then, that our imaginations would be inspired upon seeing a living being that seemed to emulate said heroes, yet with an undeniable dash of cuteness to them. Meet today's research subject, an aerial species of mollusk known as the Powerpuff slug. As is apparent at a glance, Alatolimax multicoloris is equipped with a flotation sac very similar to that of ghost octopuses and gin, which is formed from modified cerata, external projections that participate in gaseous exchange, and filled with gaseous ammonia, a product of their nitrogen metabolism. It is believed their evolution into flying animals began as their ancestors, which were very fast owing to their muscular siphon, began leaping out of the water to catch the first flying crustaceans that developed in the ancient seas. As they adapted to this particular type of prey, facing little competition, their siphon developed a large mantle-like structure, which would expand quickly to catch large amounts of air that would then be expelled through the siphon, allowing the Powerpuff slugs to fly through sudden bursts of speed. Lateral extensions of their mantle will allow them to maneuver, making their flight not only fast, but very agile as well. This mechanism is, energetically speaking, quite efficient, allowing them to spend all their time in flight without tiring, and their flotation sacs let them stay in the air indefinitely. That said, they will usually prefer to latch themselves to sleep, either on a solid surface or in secluded shelters. As an adaptation to the different medium they now inhabit, their sensing organs have had to become more sensitive as well, since many stimuli travel poorly in the air compared to water. Their eyesight, for instance, is more acute, but only marginally. Most of their sensory input comes from their rhinophores, structures present in sea slugs that detect chemical signals, and that in this species have developed simple hair-like filaments that highly increase their ability to sense mechanical signals, including air pressure and sound to a limited degree. Their statocysts, used to detect sensory input involved with their balance and position, are much more sensitive as well, allowing them to adjust their position while flying. In this new aerial environment, their body is kept hydrated due to a combination of a thick and partially keratinized body surface, which prevents the loss of moisture, and the production of very mucus slime that prevents their outer layer from drying. Noticeably, Powerpuff slugs are quite colorful, with different subspecies having striking patterns and colorations that distinguish them. One may think this would turn them into a target, loudly advertising their presence to predators, but the purpose of this coloration is, in fact, a warning. As a last line of defense before engaging, the huge eye spots of the slugs will give the impression of the animal being much bigger, scaring away potential predators such as birds. But if even this fails, then the slugs will resort to their very venomous stings. Similar to those of cone snails, these stings, properly named harpoons or radula teeth, are formed from the radula and connected to glands which sequester and concentrate the toxins the slugs obtain from their diet. This venom is so strong that it will allow them to fight off predators much larger than themselves, including some species of primate and other aerial fauna, such as the Sedusa jellyfish. Any predator that has faced their stings in the past will learn to give them a wide berth. The organisms we are seeing in today's illustration, however, are not exclusively the product of natural evolution. Rather, these are domesticated individuals, selectively bred in specific patterns of coloration, rhinophore and serrata arrangement, with the intent of having them resemble human children, enhancing the already noticeable cuteness of these animals. In order to make them safe for human company, these domesticated breeds are given special diets, mostly consisting of crushed shrimp, herbs and high glucose content, thus satisfying them while depriving them of the toxins present in their natural prey. It should be noted, the sting alone can cause a whole lot of pain by itself, even without its potent venom, making even domesticated varieties potentially dangerous if mistreated, not dissimilar to a dog's bite in that regard. Presented here are the three main breeds developed through domestication, those which are most popular worldwide. The Blossom breed is characterized by its bright pink and reddish coloration, as well as the much greater amount of serrata growing along its flotation sac and dorsal area. The higher oxygenation they receive from this serrata has the effect of making them much more relaxed and easy to train, with them being able to learn a diversity of tricks. The blue and yellow individual, characteristic of the Bubbles breed, is extremely playful and docile even when compared with other domesticated breeds, making it ideally suited for households with children and pets, with which it tends to get along without issues. Lastly, the Buttercup breed is highly energetic and requires a lot of maintenance and constant enrichment. Improper care and training will lead to them becoming aggressive and territorial, and so many people have taken to using them as guards. It is known that many people will even feed this breed and others a more natural, toxic diet, thus allowing them to retain the venomous defense of their natural relatives. As can be imagined, these colorful and amazing animals were very popular pets in the late 90s and early 2000s. And while they experienced a decrease in popularity afterwards, demand is still rather high until the present day. Unfortunately, this led to the establishment of unethical mills that constantly cranked out inbred Powerpuff slugs in order to meet demand. These poor beings would often be in very poor health, displaying behavioral and physical issues that would plague them for as long as they lived. While many of these are still active to this day, constant work is being done to stop this practice, so that these animals, and the humans that enjoy their company, need not suffer their poor state of health. And that's it for Speculative Biology look into the Powerpuff Girls. And yes, I know they look weird, they are not humans, but what joy can we derive from life if we aren't turning beloved cartoon characters into cursed as heck flying mollusks every now and then? I know this could have been superpowered humans, like in other episodes, or monkeys or something, but sometimes you just have to follow your heart and do what makes you happy, and sometimes that means making the most cursed thing you can do. What was I talking about? Ah, yes, the episode. With this one, Alec proposed we took the look of the Powerpuff Girls and adapted it into flying slugs, since that would fit their tiny bodies and large heads. And the striking colors and patterns of many sea slugs really lent themselves well to this purpose, with the rest of it coalescing from there, with the appearance of the individual scene working very well as a result of domestication, since the development of a humanish-like visage makes much more sense as a guided thing than arising naturally. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and do let me know in the comments what do you think the villain scene in the show would be like in this specified version. As always, here's a thank you to everyone who wanted to see this. Big thanks too to our researchers and research associates who support us through Patreon and YouTube memberships. especially once again to Alec Foisey for commissioning and helping me work out this episode. Remember, you too can join in if you want to support our channel, and you get some nice perks too, like seeing all of our creatures and videos ahead of time and helping mold them into shape. Or you can also like, subscribe, or write a comment telling me any type of creature you would like me to give the Spec Evo treatment in the show, or even contact me to commission your own episode for the channel. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time on the Speculative Wildlife Research Center.
And so, once again, the day is saved thanks to 3 domesticated flying slugs.